Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee, cognizant of the number of referrals pending before committees, urges all committees to prioritize consideration of the referrals and promptly report to the House during the meeting in accordance with Order 2674. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 2162 and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which business of the House shall be taken during the week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, the business statement has been presented. We may want to hear from members if they have comments to make. Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I see a good attempt to ensure that we reduce our carbon footprint, and so the order paper today is rather displayed on the console, and I want to commend Table Office and to also urge them that we sustain this effort. So there are a few observations. The leader spoke to the outstanding questions that we have. In fact, he did not elucidate, but we have over 300 questions that are pending. And in the face of the fact that this is a short meeting, we have maximum 8 weeks, we have to design a clinical approach as an attempt to dispense of these questions. And I see my good friend, the Lands Minister, is smiling, which is an indication that he will be coming to answer all his questions. Just by the way. So 300 questions within 8 weeks. It appears as a tall order. So Table Office, we will need some innovation how we can deal with these questions. Speaker, we on this side of the House have been patient. The last meeting, a number of critical questions were not answered. Because as at the time we had decided to dispense of these questions in whole, then we had the budget and estimates were being considered. So we all compromised in the spirit of ensuring that we are able to dispense of business. So, Leader, we must insist on these questions. On a lighter note, at Business Committee today, you have said that we could approach it through a win-win. Obviously, you said it on a lighter note. The orders do not allow you that. So the questions will have to be answered. How do we deal with it? Speaker, where instances where the sector ministers cannot appear, the deputies must be made to come and answer these questions. So the writing of letters to say that the ministers are out of jurisdiction, they are unavoidably absent, must end. These 8 weeks, let's get clinical, let's get effective, and let's deal with these over 300 questions that are outstanding. A champion is looking, you are staring at me. You are the deputy whip. Make sure the ministers come. If they cannot come, the deputies must be here. Speaker, 8 weeks. So the last meeting, we had a number of our bills, for want of better expression, we were rushing a number of the bills. Yes, Chief Whip, I have your attention. We're rushing a number of them. So if, as we know ahead of time, that is 8 weeks, if we are going to have extended sitting, let's factor extended sitting ab initio, so that we don't wait 5 days to adjournment then you say we should have extended sitting. And we end up punishing ourselves unnecessarily. Leader, if I have your attention. So let's pay attention to that. Where we think that extended sitting would be relevant, let's consider it and factor it ab initio. So these will be my observation. I see the motions that had been pending for some time have all been advertised. We hope we'll go by this business statement. As we go, if for any reason any question has to be changed, days scheduled for questions have to be changed, we need to be given a prior notification. Leadership needs to be engaged. I can bear with Majority Leader. First week from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, well, not even one question has been advertised. Meanwhile, we knew ahead of time that a number of these questions are still pending. So, Majority, I don't know how you can justify that for all the week, not even one minister is being scheduled to come and take this question. Because of the number of questions we have on our standing, I want to suggest strongly to you that even though this is the business statement which we are going to adopt largely, let's look at the possibility of getting, the road minister is there, he has a number of his questions. He is always present, he's not like others, he's not like other ministers, he's always here. The energy minister is also not like others, he's always present. There are questions that were advertised in the name of the energy minister and the road minister. He's ready to answer them. Why don't you put them here? So we have been charitable enough. These questions must find expression in the business statement. Then we can hold them to it and make sure that the ministers come here and do justice by answering this question. So I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, Majority Leader, you may respond to that.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I think the Honourable Minority Chief Whip was at Business Committee meeting, and indeed we discussed all the issues that he has repeated here. And I had given him every assurance that we are going to engage the ministers and ensure that as much as possible we are able to have them in the House to answer as many questions as possible. But in addition, at Business Committee meeting, I did indicate that we will engage your good self, Right Honourable Speaker, and your deputies so that we can have some understanding regarding questions that will allow supplementaries, how long questions should last, how long answers should last, how many questions each member should be allowed to ask in every meeting, so that we can manage the time very efficiently. So all those were discussed at Business Committee meeting. And also, we urge the various committee chairpersons to whom bills have been referred to make sure that they report back to this House early enough for us to take those bills through consideration stage and not to wait until in the dying days of a meeting. Then they will be putting pressure on honorable colleagues to have to stay late into the night to work on those bills. And so we'll be pushing the various chairpersons to work on bills referred to them expeditiously and bring it back to this House. And I've started insisting and demanding that all chairpersons who have had bills pending before them, before we went on recess must immediately bring them the report, at least for us to debate, and then we take the bills through the consideration stage. That's the only way that we can ensure that some bills don't get taken in the dying days of a meeting, and then we'll all be having to sit here till late in the night. I can assure you that all ministers who have to be in this house are punctual. They attend. Sometimes the reason why you don't see ministers is that sometimes they come here waiting for us to start. I know, for instance, the finance minister was here around 12. He sat and waited. We've only started after 3 hours, and so he had to leave. And it's same with a lot of ministers. So let's also try and be punctual. Speaker was ready. Speaker was ready. The reason why Speaker didn't start sitting is because our friends opposite decided that they would go and visit the new flag bearer at a time when this house is supposed to be sitting, and after you have done that, then you come and raise issues about times that we start proceedings. So, Mr. Speaker, let's all keep to the time. When we know that we have sitting starting at 2 p.m., let's all be here at 2 p.m. We can start, and then we can withdraw and go and then do other things. When we are needed, we'll be called back into the chamber. But because we are live on television and we have our own television station, Ghanaians are watching. So when we tell them we are starting at 12, they start watching out to see if we'll be there at 12. And so when we delay, it doesn't speak well of us as their leaders. So if you want us to be able to be punctual and then to have all the agenda that we have set for ourselves achieved, then we must, make sure we're in the chamber at the right time. I believe I have responded to all the issues that the Minority Chief Whip has raised. I believe the Minority Leader has no issue to raise. I don't think that he has any issue to raise. I don't believe the Minority Leader has any issue to raise.
Honourable members, the issue of time management is key, and we are going to stick to that in this meeting and thereafter. So I will take it that the statement as presented is adopted. Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, with respect, I have one issue, but I was signaling the Majority Leader that our colleague, Professor Nyakun, was on his feet, so I wanted him to recognize me.
I recognize you because of the invitation to treat
Very well.
by the Majority Leader.
Speaker, he wants to start
So if you want
fight.
to add another thing, I will not accept that.
Mr. Speaker, no, I'm saying that I was signaling him that my colleague...
So you have nothing to say?
Mr. Speaker, I do. Because
Yes, I'll say it.
Oh, before him? Well, Mr. Speaker, that's fine. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, with respect, we have an important matter which has been pending for several months. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that the Chief of Staff, through a letter, directed that state agencies should terminate employment of Ghanaian youths who were employed after the 2024 elections. Mr. Speaker, we the minority became aware with evidence that there were some excesses in the sense that though the letter was specific that those who were recruited after the 2024 elections, Ghanaian youth who had been employed as far back as 2017 were all dismissed from their lawful employ. Mr. Speaker, the minority filed a motion the motion was admitted by you. The majority leader raised a preliminary objection, which objection was upheld by the first deputy speaker. Mr. Speaker, we subsequently filed a motion for review under the rules of this House, which you admitted. Mr. Speaker, this motion was moved by my good self, seconded by my respected colleague from Ofuasia Yirbi, and the chief whip from the majority side, Honorable Eche Defiamepo, started the debate for his side. Mr. Speaker, the promise made by the chair was that the following Tuesday, the debate will continue so that you could eventually rule on the matter. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, because it was a matter that you were the only one to preside, and because of some other intervening matters, we've not been able to take this motion, much as we kept prompting the majority leader to take steps to allow this to be done. Mr. Speaker, several times the motion appeared on the order paper, but we could not take it. Mr. Speaker, this is a matter that affects the livelihood of Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, per the information we had, we have in excess of 15,000 Ghanaian youths affected by this directive, and they are still at home. In fact, the last time the employment minister was on the floor, he said that he had also received some petitions and he has caused some investigations to be done and he will revert to us. But that does not stop the House from inquiring into the matter just for the sake of good governance. Mr. Speaker, these Ghanaian youths are sitting at home, their wives, their extended family, they themselves. It's been over a year that they are not getting any justice. So, Mr. Speaker, I would humbly plead with the leader of government business to endeavor to include the motion in this report. I raised this at the business committee, and of course I must be fair with him. To him, the understanding was that we would have to engage you so that you give us time to hear, since you are the only person who can sit or preside on this particular motion. So that, Mr. Speaker, you give your ruling for a body, a committee to be set up to investigate this matter, so that the people out there who have been affected by this directive will know that the representatives of the people, Parliament, cares about their interests, and we are always willing to take steps. It's getting to a year. We are in February. The directive came in March 2025. It's far too long. So, Mr. Speaker, that is my very humble prayer on this rising. Thank you so much, sir.
Honorable members, on this, not leader of government business, but as chairman of the business committee, you caused this matter to be relisted and scheduled for consideration of the House. This thing has gone on since the inception of the Fourth Republic. Anytime there's a change of government, we have people's appointment being terminated, in many cases unlawfully, and they are not even paid. I remember as minority leader in 2001, all the staff of national mobilization were dropped. Nothing was paid. Some directors were dismissed. Some even went to the High Court. Rulings were given. Government did not abide by the rulings. And the lawyers struggled and they could not enforce them. The same happened again in 2009, continued up to date. I mean, we can't keep on this way. We have to improve. So if Parliament has decided to give some guidance as to the way forward, I think it's a good motion that we should create the opportunity for Parliament to have a say. So please take this directive as urgent and make sure that this motion be relisted for the consideration of the House. With this, I just want to inform you that we have Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Time management.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
He hasn't given the full facts. The objection that was raised in this House was based on the fact that the matter was pending in court. That was the objection that was raised. And the first Deputy Speaker ruled that to the extent that somebody had gone to seek constitutional enforcement of the rights of those people, it won't be appropriate for us as a parliament to inquire into the matter. That was the objection. So, Mr. Speaker, these are the facts. These are the facts based on which the objection was taken. So, your deputy ruled based on those facts. So, if he wants us to relist it and debate it, we'll relist it, we'll debate it. You will consider debate in addition to the basis on which the first deputy, upheld my objection, and then you will take a decision. We have no problem. We're ready, except that when one of the parties has gone to court and the matter is in court, and then you say the Parliament should inquire into the same matter. And I said it will prejudice the outcome. And our rules are clear on that. So why don't we wait for them to litigate the matter in court and let us know the outcome? You're talking about some 200, 300. Who are they? Have you brought their list? When you file the motion, did you attach their names? Do you have specific people, specific organizations, and etc.? You just don't get up and then say things without any evidence. Yes, some people who were dismissed raised issues, but the law is there. If you feel you were unfairly dismissed, you can go to court. I know somebody in this chamber who was touting the NDC members, saying that he will see if NDC will be able to use protocol to recruit their party members into the agencies. Yes. And boasting about how they had done that. They had used protocol and they had populated all the agencies with their party boys. And they were waiting to see how the NDC is going to do that. This was public. It wasn't private. This was public.
The videos are all over.
The videos are all over. This is how some of those people got into the agencies. They did not get there on merit. Procedures were not complied with. There was no fairness. This is what happened. And I recall that I was a member of the transition committee. And at the transition committee meeting, we raised the issue.
Majority Leader, Speaker, please, I've heard you. We would rather take your first point. And for this second one, you are just speaking in favor of what I said. That is something that we need to look into and then guide future governments. But you raised a first preliminary issue that it was based on the rules of the House, that the first Deputy Speaker made his place his decision on and gave the directive. First Deputy Speaker, may you confirm this before I can come to Minority Leader? Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, it is very true that I base my decision on the fact that the matter was pending in court. Right, Honorable Speaker, one of us, in the person of Vincent Ekwa Asafwa, took the matter to the Supreme Court, and at the time that the application was made, his case was pending before the Supreme Court. So to constitute a committee to investigate whilst the matter is pending squarely before the Supreme Court will offend our rules. So, Right Honorable Speaker, on the basis of that, I ruled and given the appropriate directives.
Honorable Eko Asafua, or the minority leader, is the case still in court?
Mr. Speaker, with respect, Mr. Speaker, with respect, let me, please. Mr. Speaker, with respect, this is a house of rules. The majority leader, through the submissions he made, is trying to throw dust into our eyes. The ruling of the first deputy speaker was challenged under Order 127 of our rules. We attached the ruling and stated the full facts of the case and filed this before you. Mr. Speaker, what the issue is simply that you admitted the grounds of our appeal. You admitted our motion for review. And in fact, we have actually moved our review application. I moved the review application. Honorable Member for Fuasa Yebi seconded the review application. And Honorable Defia Mapo started the debate, had a 25-minute submission at the dispatch box. His boss was not there on his side. So, Mr. Speaker, all we are saying is that let us continue the debate. All this thing that he's saying, there was a ruling, we've moved past that. If a body of first instance makes a determination and a plaintiff in that matter is dissatisfied and appeals it, and a higher authority upholds the grounds of appeal and opens the case up, you don't go back and say that there was a ruling. We've moved past that. We've moved the motion, it's been seconded, and you, the majority, you have submitted strong points in opposing our application. What we, Mr. Speaker, is saying is that let us relist it because the motion has been pending. We need to continue the debate. Then he makes a determination. That's what Mr. Speaker is saying. But where you are taking us back to, Mr. Speaker, is just to confuse everybody. We've moved past that. We've moved past that. Again, Mr. Speaker, our friends on the other side are not coming from a principled angle. The same argument. Mr. Speaker, we relied, the minority relied on the first deputy speaker's ruling in the matter of Justice Albert Tokonu. When the nomination came before this house, our argument was that for the time being, the ruling, which is the precedence in this house, was his ruling, which is if a matter is pending before court, to avoid any injustice, this house must stay its hands. This is what he said. Now, at the time my Lord Bafubwani was nominated, there were pending cases by Justice Tokonu. Two, the issues that can you be tolerant? The issues that my Lord Tokonu was pursuing had to do with her employment, and we felt that, Mr. Speaker, by allowing the vetting, it would have adverse effect on the case before the court, especially so when my Lord Bafubwani was the one to ensure the empaneling. But our friends said no.
Honorable Minority Leader, please let me listen to the first deputy speaker.
Mr. Speaker, is he on a point of order?
I don't know. So let's listen to him.
Mr. Speaker, very well.
Let's listen to him first.
Right Honorable Speaker, before delivering my ruling based on the fact that Honorable Eko Asafua has taken the matter before the Supreme Court, I was furnished with a copy of the court process. in the case of Tokonu that he's referring to before the vetting committee, I have no process of the court before me attesting to the fact that this matter is pending before court. So the two issues are quite different. I made my ruling based on the fact that in raising the objection, the process of the court was finished. And you look at the relief being sought at the Supreme Court, there is no way by which those actions will be pending, those reliefs will be pending before the Supreme Court, yet Parliament will be delving into the matter. So I use the principle of sub judice to make my ruling. And Mr. Speaker, we are speaking in public. We do not uphold grounds of appeal. You uphold appeal or you dismiss the appeal. So there is nothing like upholding grounds of appeal. Mr. Speaker, I base my ruling on the process that was put before me.
Honorable members, please, let's go back and refresh our memories. And when you get the facts right, this House is always there for you. We can come back to discuss this matter. In the meantime, we have to proceed on the business of the day. Because you are raising so many things and now beclouding the initial issue that was raised, and I gave the directive. So let's refresh our memory, because it's been a long time, and I think that some of you are not getting the facts right. The public, they are listening to us, and they are getting more confused. I'm getting confused myself. And so I have to go and read the Hansard, because many of you are not fond of speaking the truth. Well, one of the things I hate in life is to tell lies. I'm being truthful and factual. We can audit the Hansard, and you see that I'm on all fours on this matter. Please, when they want to raise the issue, you say, oh, it's politics. I see politics is about speaking untruths. So please, let's go and refresh our memory on this matter. In the meantime, the business statement as presented is adopted. We have before us some students from some educational institutions visiting us, I believe, for the first time. We have students from the University of Cape Coast. These are students studying international relations, and they are being led by one of their lecturers by name Dr. Solomon Sika Bright. Sika, am I right? Is it Sika? Sika, I think, is about money. And then he's bright. They definitely are coming from Cape Coast North, and there are 66 in number. Honorable members, you can see them just directly opposite me at the public. I think Winneba is closer to Cape Coast. You don't want to acknowledge the presence of students from the university. Please, on your behalf, I want to welcome them and wish them a fruitful visit to the house. We have our staff that are ready to take you through some of the preliminaries of parliamentary work. So you are welcome, particularly the fact that you are studying international relations. We have a department now having international relations and parliamentary diplomacy. Maybe you may ask and get some guidance from them as to what we do in that direction. Please, you may resume your seats. We have also students from SDA Senior High School. There are 64 in number coming from Sunyani East constituency, and they are led by the senior house master, Mr. Abraham Owusu. Please, you are also warmly welcome, and take time to learn a few things before you go back. Sunyani is quite far, and make use of your presence here so that the investment that is made in bringing you here will not go to waste. You are welcome. Honorable members, let's move on to the next item. And I want to welcome you. Before I can open the floodgates for you to have these harmonious exchanges. And so I'll read a short statement to welcome all of you to this meeting. Honorable members, I warmly welcome you to the first meeting of the second session of the 9th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana, which formally commences today, Tuesday, 3rd February 2026, and scheduled to recess on the 27th of March 2026. The House, and indeed the nation, remains deeply grateful to Almighty God for the guidance, protection, and special grace He bestowed upon us. It is God and nothing else that enabled us to successfully conclude the first session of the 9th Parliament. By His providence, we are gathered here today, 1 year into the life of the 9th Parliament, with renewed sense of purpose and commitment to serve our dear nation and its people. Honorable members, it is my hope that the recess afforded you the opportunity to receive feedback from our people, reflect, and to replenish your capabilities for a strenuous and focused business of this second session of the 9th Parliament. Honorable members, during the first session, Parliament made steady progress in the discharge of its constitutional mandate. Notable among our achievements were the orientation of new members, the constitution and operationalization of the committees of the House, and the consideration and passage of bills, constitutional and statutory instruments, as well as other essential parliamentary business. These accomplishments reflect the collective efforts of honorable members, parliamentary leadership, committees, officers of the parliamentary service, and civil society organizations. I want to take this opportunity to commend the leadership and all members and staff for your dedication and hard work. Notwithstanding these achievements, we must also acknowledge with candor the challenges we encountered during the period under review. The first session tested us in many important ways. It tested our endurance and adherence to parliamentary discipline, our tolerance for different views, and our collective commitment to the traditions, customs, and conventions that sustain the democratic culture of Parliament. These trying moments invite us to reflect not merely on events, but on the standards we set for ourselves as custodians of the people's mandate. It is through such reflection that institutions learn lessons, mature, and become stronger. Accordingly, I wish to inform the House that the Speakership, together with leadership of the House, is planning to observe the one-year anniversary of the inception of the 9th Parliament. This event will provide an opportunity for deeper introspection into the operations, conduct, and the lived experiences of the first session of the 9th Parliament, with a view to distilling lessons to guide the work and conduct of business during the second session. The date for this observance and the detailed program outline will be communicated to honorable members and the public in due course. Let me underline, honorable members, that this occasion will be institutionalized at the commencement of each session to serve as a means of taking stock of the conduct and performance of Parliament during the preceding session and to enable us to take measures to guide proceedings in the session that follows. The past year was also marked by moments of deep sorrow and grief for the entire nation. This House was affected. The House lost 3 distinguished colleagues. Honorable Murtala Mohammed, Member of Parliament for Tamal Central, Honorable Enes Yakumi, Member of Parliament for Akotia, and very recently, Honorable Naza Turi Mahama, Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East. The earlier ones, we observed a minute silence. Today, I'll allow a statement to be made to give us the opportunity to do the same for the latest, that is Honorable Naza Turi Mahama. In the meantime, with your kind permission, may their souls rest in perfect peace in the bosom of the Almighty God. The passing of these patriots is a solemn reminder of the fragility of life and the sacrifices inherent in public service. Their departure therefore calls upon us to uphold compassion, solidarity, mutual support, and love for one another, even as we engage in robust debate to make our lives in this world a better experience. While differences of opinion are natural in every democratic parliament, respect for one another, love and unity of purpose must always hold sway over hatred and bitter partisanship. Honorable members, the second session, and particularly this meeting, presents us with a demanding legislative and oversight agenda. By the provisions of Order 47 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, the Clerk to Parliament is enjoined to send to each member a copy of the agenda of the meeting. This meeting offers us a renewed opportunity to strengthen cooperation, build consensus on matters of national importance, restore and sustain public trust and confidence in Parliament through disciplined, transparent, and accountable conduct. It is my hope that honorable members will rise above partisanship when circumstances require us to do so. We should uphold the dignity of this House and work collectively to advance national development and improve the lives of our people. With these words, I wish all members a peaceful, productive, and purposeful deliberations during this meeting. We have a blessed Parliament and a blessed country. Let us cherish and preserve them. I thank you all for your attention. I will now give opportunity to your leaders to also say a few words of all of you, starting with the minority leader.
Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, this afternoon we reconvene in this Honorable House to confront uncommon challenges facing our Republic. At home, our people struggle for employment. Abroad, Ghana's voice faints as traditional friends turn their back on us. In such times, Parliament must recall its purpose. We sit not for comfort, but to serve a nation's weary with unmeant promise. Mr. Speaker, before we turn to the nation's business, let me pause, just as you did, to mourn our colleague, Honorable Mahama Toure Nasser, Member of Parliament for Ayawasu East. Now to his grieving family, constituents, and the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, and every member of this august House, I extend deepest condolences on behalf of the minority caucus. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Mr. Speaker, on our part, the minority, our party's delegates have spoken. Through vibrant democracy, our party has chosen His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to lead us into the future. Mr. Speaker, I am happy to say that this morning the caucus extended warmest congratulations to the flag bearer, and we promised to work with him and stand shoulder to shoulder with him to deliver on his vision for our party and for our country come December 2028 elections. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, our conversation with him has energized us. We spoke as family about the formidable task ahead, earning the trust of Ghanaians and returning to power to rebuild and restore Ghana under Dr. Bawumia presidency. Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to say to our distinguished sons of our party, Honorable Kennedy Japan, Honorable Dr. Brian Achampong, Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, and Engineer Kwabna Eje Japan, we offer a brotherly salute. The contest is over, collaboration begins. Mr. Speaker, we as minority are clear that the unity that demands our work in this very chamber requires us to be rigorous. It simply means that collective good of our country and party must be the overriding objective. And we also thank the National Democratic Congress for the statement they issued acknowledging the peaceful election we held. Our flag bearers' first great task and ours start this very hour. The journey to begin 2028 begins with the very first step we take together right now. Mr. Speaker, Ghana is crying out for bold, competent, proven leadership. The current administration, in our view, is failing to manage our economy with transformation in mind, failing to inspire confidence, failing to uphold the dignity of our people. But our duty as minority is not merely to critique. The new patriotic party is not just a political option. It is a singular solution Ghana requires. Mr. Speaker, the records will bear us out. We show that for 8 years under President Kufuor and under President Akufo-Addo's leadership, we led Ghana towards transformation until COVID struck. Against all odds, we put Ghana back on the path of recovery. Indeed, the NDC offers much more PR gimmick than proper management. The MPP offers a proven blueprint. History will ask what will build when Ghana needed us most. The solution is here, and the solution is us. Mr. Speaker, it is also with profound joy that we welcome back to this house our honorable colleague, Honorable Matthew Nyindam, Member of Parliament for Pandai, to his rightful place. The Supreme Court has spoken with constitutional authority, validating his election and restoring justice. This is a resounding triumph for democracy itself. We hail the justices for their courage in the face of brazen attempt to stampede them into politically expedient miscarriage of justice. This House has urged institutional restraint, as we did with the bogus processes that, in our view, forced the Chief Justice, Justice Arabe Alberto Kunu, out of office. But our colleagues opposite chose to speed up the process, which we again oppose. Mr. Speaker, let this be our pledge. We shall model maturity, eschewing hasty suspensions that invite chaos. In restraint lies our strength, in haste our humiliation. Outside this chamber, the story is harsher. A nation without two important ministers. It has been months since the tragic helicopter crash took our ministers for defense and environment. Those vital ministries remain without substantive leadership. We demand forthwith that Mr. President nominate these ministers to mount these ministries. It is not enough to have the Minister of Finance with a huge responsibility also taking up the Ministry of Defense. Mr. Speaker, on jobs, last November, 6 young women died in a stampede at Elwak Sports Stadium during recruitment. When a country turns a recruitment gate into graveyard, it is a government that has failed our youth. On food, farmers complain of losses while families struggle with high prices. When food rots in villages, while children sleep hungry in towns, the problem is policy and logistics. Meanwhile, government says that inflation has come down. Our farmers have always carried Ghana on their shoulders with respect to food security in the country. Unfortunately, 2025, farmers were faced with lack of agricultural inputs, fertilizers, certified seeds, and agricultural machinery distributed to farmers were woefully
Honorable Minority Leader, I'm sorry. I have to move to another meeting.
Sure.
So the first Deputy Speaker will take the chair.
Minority Leader, you may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'll take it again. Our farmers have always carried Ghana on their shoulders with respect to food security in the country. Unfortunately, in 2025, farmers were faced with lack of agricultural inputs, fertilizers, certified seeds, and agricultural machinery distributed to farmers were woefully inadequate. The food glut challenge we witnessed in 2025 must also be properly addressed. Mr. Speaker, we expect the government to ensure that adequate warehouses are provided and that all warehouses that were started by the previous administration must be completed in good time. Mr. Speaker, again, our cocoa farmers are crying for payment. We hereby urge the Ministry of Agric and the Ministry of Finance to take steps to ensure that our hard-working cocoa farmers are paid for all supplies that they make to Cocoa Board. Mr. Speaker, in our country today, gold has turned to ghosts. The hardship is not accident. It is the consequence of choices, including those that threaten our collective wealth as a nation. During the recess, not one but two distinct gold scandals rocked the very foundations of our economy, revealing a pattern of staggering incompetence and catastrophic failure. First, Mr. Speaker, we confronted the missing millions. The IMF published a report and flagged 240 million losses through the third quarter 2025 from Gold for Reserves program. These were not hypothetical risks. These were realized losses, lost to trading shortfalls and questionable fees. This sum is not an abstraction. It is classrooms never built, hospital equipment never procured, farm input never graded. It is the future of our nation sacrificed on the altar of opaque and reckless financial engineering. But this situation did not end with the missing money. It escalated to vanishing gold itself. Official Bank of Ghana data confirms a collapse to so severe that it defies belief. Our gold reserves, which stood at 37.1 tons in September 2025, plunged by nearly 50% to near 18.6 tons by December. In just 3 months, we witnessed the utter evaporation of prior gains, financial phantom event that has left our national balance sheet dangerously exposed. The connection between these two catastrophes is not incidental. It is a causal and speaks to profound moral failure. On one hand, this government has proven utterly incompetent in combating the scourge of illegal mining. Galamsey prevention and the fight against Galamsey has been abandoned. It has allowed Galamsey to flourish unchecked, devastating our forests, poisoning our rivers, and destroying the livelihood of our farmers. And for what purpose? The evidence suggests a desperate, cynical strategy to source gold from these very destructive channels in a frantic bid to prop up Ghana city through these reserve programs. Mr. Speaker, we the minority state without equivocation that this is a policy of national self-sabotage. I repeat, the gold reserve policy that government has introduced, to the extent that government is not taking steps to ensure full enforcement of anti-galamsey operations, we say for the record that it's a policy of national self-sabotage. We are monetizing the destruction of our environment and the theft of our future to feed failing financial scheme. And as the data now proves, that scheme itself has backfired catastrophically. The gold bought at such great costs to our environment has seemingly vanished, and the money allocated to secure it has evaporated. When gold is turned to ghosts, the ghost that haunts the poor is hunger. When reserves disappear in millions and they vanish, and we are told that they are rather diversifying, the trust of the people dissolves into dust. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this House has a solemn and non-negotiable duty. We must insist on full, transparent, and immediate accounting. And we thank Mr. Speaker for admitting the motion by the minority to get into this matter. We must demand answers to the questions the nation is asking. Who designed this flawed program? Who authorized the pricing and the fee structure that led to such losses? Who profited from these transactions? And ultimately, who bears responsibility for this double disaster of missing millions and vanishing gold? But as minority, we have some solutions for government. If indeed government believes that this is a policy worth considering, then it must provide for the cost of enforcing this policy, and this must come to Parliament for the people's representatives to interrogate it. If Parliament does not have the courage to follow the gold, to trace every transaction, to demand every document, then we would have lost far more than the money. We would have surrendered our moral compass and betrayed the sacred trust placed in us by the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, as we are at management in the country and at home, the world changes without us. The United States announced an indefinite pause in immigrant visa processing for Ghanaians. The message is unmistakable. Ghana has slipped from trusted partner to flag concern. Our foreign ministries, our foreign policy, the inconsistency there too, the adversarial posture has replaced professional diplomacy with domestic theater. When our foreign ministry treats international partners as props for local politics, ordinary Ghanaians become collateral damage. The ultimate answer is not simply to lobby foreign embassies. It is to build Ghana worth staying in. A serious nation does not treat its people as exports. Mr. Speaker, reports show a worrying spike in assault on journalists. A state that cannot protect the pen will soon find it cannot protect the ballot box. Attacks make headlines, then files gather dust while impunity gains confidence. Violence against journalists is an attack on Parliament itself, because it is the media that carries our debate to the people we represent. Mr. Speaker, the minority in this meeting shall pursue vigorous accountability. And this is what we are going to do. Accountability will not just be a slogan. It is going to be our shadow. The minority would formally move for targeted parliamentary inquiries on the following: 1, the helicopter disaster; 2, the Elwak tragedy; 3, the gold reserve losses; 4, the violence against journalists; 5, the abuse associated with bail conditions by certain investigative agencies of state, the US visa ban, and not the least, the unlawful dismissal of Ghanaian youth. We will not accept indefinite delay. Accountability without a calendar is merely public relations. Mr. Speaker, Ghanaian people are tired of speeches and rhetorics of the ruling government. They want their living standard to improve. They are concerned about utility prices. Electricity tariffs have shot up by 27% under this government. To my colleagues in majority, the minority will be firm, but we are ready to be fair. Opposition is not to sabotage. We will demand in the homes of the jobless, in the heart of the grieving, and in the verdict of history. Let us rise to the occasion and let us demonstrate that we are formidable and that we are not just opposing, but we offer solutions. Mr. Speaker, let me on this note thank colleagues and welcome them back to this chamber and wish all of us a successful deliberation. Thank you so much.
Honourable members, I will accordingly proceed to give the floor to the majority leader for his opening remark.
Honorable colleagues, Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues who have converged here to carry out a critical constitutional function. But before I proceed, let me join my colleague, the minority leader, to express the most sincere condolences to all of us on the loss of our colleague, Honorable Nazar Toure Mahama, the former Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East in the Greater Accra region. Our colleague was fully with us in the last meeting. And during recess, unfortunately, we lost him. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Mr. Speaker, let me again join my colleague to congratulate the new Patriotic Party for organizing an internal primaries that has produced a flag bearer. I congratulate the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia, on his victory. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to my colleague, the minority leader, and just to indicate that I paid attention to the results in his constituency. Honorable Kennedy got 644 votes. And Alhaji Bawumia got only 79 votes. In the constituency of the minority leader. Mr. Speaker, given his interest in inquiries, I think this is a matter we must look into. Mr. Speaker, this House reconvenes at a time when the Ghanaian economy has regained stability after a period of severe distress. Mr. Speaker, I just listened to my colleague, the minority leader, speak extensively about the Ghana Gold Board and the loss that is reported to have occurred. Mr. Speaker, what I hear, what is being reported, is that 2.4 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent to 214 million United States dollars, may have been lost. Mr. Speaker, they are not asking the question, what has been gained? I am asking the question, what has been gained? Mr. Speaker, the statistics show that in 2024, gold from artisanal small-scale mining sold to the state was 63.6 tons in 2024. In 2025, as a result of the activities of the Gold Board, gold sold to the state from artisanal miners jumped to 103 tons. From 63.6 tons to 103 tons. A jump of 39 tons. Mr. Speaker, the value of 1 ton of gold is 96.5 million United States dollars. The value of 1 ton is 96.5 million United States dollars. So 39 tons added by Gold Board gives us 3.8 billion United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, so if we lost 214 million United States dollars and gained 3.8 billion United States dollars, please do the mathematics. Please do the mathematics. Why would this House waste its precious time interrogating and investigating such a gargantuan gain to the Republic of Ghana? Simple mathematics. This is not Fufusu Primary School mathematics. Mr. Speaker, there's nothing to investigate. We should be commending the Ghana Gold Board policy for the enormous gain that this republic has made from the implementation of the policy. When this parliament commenced its mandate, the nation faced high inflation, unsustainable debt levels, eroded confidence, and constrained fiscal space. The decisions before us were difficult but necessary. Today, there is clear evidence that those decisions are yielding results. Inflation has fallen to single digits. Interest rates are easing. The national currency has stabilized, and debt indicators are improving. These outcomes reflect disciplined policy choices, strong institutional coordination, and importantly, the robust oversight, scrutiny, and approvals exercised by this House in fulfillment of our constitutional mandate. Right, Honorable Speaker, Parliament is not an appendage of the executive. We are an independent arm of government entrusted by the people of Ghana to approve, amend, reject, and hold the executive to account. In performing this duty, Parliament has acted in the national interest, balancing economic necessity with social responsibility and ensuring transparency, accountability, and respect for democratic process. Right, Honorable Speaker, as we begin this new session, our task must now evolve. Economic stabilization, while necessary, is not sufficient. The responsibility before this House is to support legislation and policies that convert stability into growth, growth into jobs, and jobs into improved living standards for our people. Mr. Speaker, this House must also reaffirm its commitment to constructive debate and cooperation. Differences of opinion enrich our democracy, but division must never obstruct national progress. Ghanaians expect solutions, not stalemate. It is also right, Honorable Speaker, that we acknowledge effective leadership when it delivers results. That is why I am here to once again commend President John Dramani Mahama and the National Democratic Congress, because they deserve commendation for the discipline, experience, and clarity with which they have governed during a challenging period of our nation. The progress recorded in restoring confidence, easing economic pressure, and laying the foundations for sustainable growth reflects leadership that has prioritized the national interests. Allow me to present an overview of Ghana's fiscal and macroeconomic performance in 2025, underscoring the key achievements and reforms that have strengthened our economy and laid a solid groundwork for 2026. The fiscal deficit for 2025 was contained at 1.8% of GDP, reflecting prudent fiscal management and improved revenue mobilization. Total public debt decreased from 726.6 billion in 2024 to 630.2 billion in 2025, representing a 13.3% reduction in just 1 year. Debt as a share of GDP fell significantly from 68.7% to 47.0%, a reduction of 23.7 percentage points in just 1 year, strengthening the country's debt sustainability profile. Real GDP growth remains steady at 4.8%, supported by resilience in key sectors. Inflation remains stable at 8%, aligning with the Bank of Ghana's targets. VAT reforms announced in 2025 are in full implementation in 2026, aiming to ease the cost of doing business and support households. We abolished the COVID-19 health recovery levy, saving households and businesses 3.7 billion Ghana cedis in 2026. We remove and decouple GET Fund and NHIA levies from the VAT base, enabling input tax deductions and lowering business costs by 5%. We abolish VAT on recognizance and prospecting of minerals, reduce the effective VAT rate from 21.9% to 20%, increase the VAT registration threshold from 200,000 to 750,000. Mr. Speaker, we extended the VAT zero rating on locally manufactured textiles to 2028. We recapitalized ADB and CBG with 1 billion Ghana cedis, strengthening the financial sector, making it stable, supporting credit flows to households and businesses. For the first time since 2007, when the cedi was redenominated, the Ghanaian cedi appreciated by 32% against the United States dollars, marking a historic milestone and reflecting the resilience of our economy and the success of our stabilization policies. Average lending rates have declined from 30% to 22%, and treasury bill rates from 29% to 11%, making financing more affordable for businesses and households. These improvements have generated approximately 8 billion Ghana cedis in national savings on interest, directly benefiting the private sector and citizens. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, 2025 has been a year of fiscal consolidation, macroeconomic stability, and structural reform. These measures have positioned Ghana for sustainable growth in 2026, enhance debt sustainability, and improve the business and investment climate. Looking ahead, 2026 promises to be a transformative year for Ghana with targeted initiatives across all key sectors. Mr. Speaker, the government will complete 30 abandoned E-blocks, community day schools, and the GET Fund. Government will construct 200 new junior high schools, construct 200 new primary schools, construct 200 new kindergartens, and construct 400 teacher bungalows and 400 sanitation facilities. Funding will also be provided for textbooks, school furniture, and transport for learners. 6 new regional hospitals will commence construction this year, alongside 2 district hospitals at Bole and Shama, while 10 Agenda 111 hospital projects will be completed. Ongoing projects at La General, Efia Nkwanta, Komfo-Anokye Maternity, and the Ashanti Regional Hospital will continue, and diagnostic and treatment centers will be established across major hospitals through PPPs. Mahama Cares will receive 2.3 billion Ghana cedis, and 9 billion is programmed for NHIS claims. Essential medicines, vaccines, and free primary health care will be ensured in the ensuing year. The government would allocate 500 million Ghana cedis for district housing, including resettlement of Akosombo Dam spillage victims. A major push will also be made for critical infrastructure, including the long-awaited Accra-Kumasi Expressway. Additionally, 200 million is earmarked for mini stadia. 1.1 billion will support LEAP, 401 million for women-owned SMEs through the Women's Development Bank, 170 million for the National Apprenticeship Program, and 169 million for BEC registration, 474 million for nursing trainee allowances, and 292 million for free sanitary pads for girls. The National Theatre in Accra will be rehabilitated, and the second theatre will be developed in Kumasi. 20 million will seed for Creative Arts Fund, and 150 million will support anti-illegal mining operations. 50 million is allocated for fishing nets and outboard motors. These initiatives collectively push 2026 as a year of tangible progress, improving education, healthcare, infrastructure, social protection, and economic opportunities for all Ghanaians. Let me also acknowledge the successful election of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. We congratulate him and his party for concluding that internal democratic process. Mr. Speaker, if you observed, my friends on the other side were all in white today to celebrate the victory. I joined them to wear white to celebrate the victory. But the reason why I have worn white to celebrate the victory is because the Bawumia that I know, NDC will beat him any time in the day. I say I am wearing white to join the MPP in the chamber to celebrate, because the Bawumia that I know, NDC can beat him any day. Right, Honourable Speaker, Ghanaians do not forget. Ghanaians do not forget. This is not a new beginning. It is a repackaging of the same administration, the same economic ideas, and the same record that pushed this nation to the edge. You cannot rewrite recent history, and you cannot rebrand responsibility away. Ghanaians will judge not by new faces or fine words, but by lived experience, credibility, and results. And they lived the experience of a Bawumia as a vice president, and the credibility of MPP and the Bawumia, and the results of the Bawumia economic management. Right, Honourable Speaker, the foundations of recovery have been laid. The responsibility before us now is to consolidate these gains and accelerate Ghana's journey towards sustainable growth and shared prosperity. We will be considering the following sector-related legislation. We will continue with the Ghana Cocoa Board Amendment Bill, the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority Bill, the Ghana Deposit Protection Amendment Bill, will all be taken. Mr. Speaker, the exemptions amendment bill will also be taken. There will be an income tax amendment bill. Then there will be extractive industries fiscal reforms bill. We will have a rent bill coming from the Ministry of Works and Housing. And then there are riparian buffer zones regulations. Mr. Speaker, we will also have legislation from the Ministry of Education to deal with the College of Education, and then also to establish the Ghana Book Development Council. Mr. Speaker, we also will have the Environmental Protection Carbon Market Regulations 2026, the Basic Ionizing Radiation Control Regulations, the Integrated Management Systems Regulations, the Emergency Preparedness and Response Regulations, the Design of Nuclear Installation Regulations, the Review and Amendment of the Biosafety Act. Mr. Speaker, the Energy Ministry will bring new legislative proposals for the Nuclear Power Corporation, that's the Nuclear Power Corporation Bill, the Renewable Energy Authority Bill, and then the Transport Minister will also bring the Road Traffic Amendment Regulations to deal with the issues of discipline among Okada riders. The NPA Act is also going to be revised. There will be a legislation on Ghana Banking Services Agency Bill. Mr. Speaker, we will also have a new comprehensive revision of our minerals and mining legislation in the form of a new minerals and mining bill. The Ghana Geological Survey Authority regulations will come. The minerals and mining regulations will also come. The wildlife resources mining regulations, the Survey Council bill will all be presented to us. The Energy Ministry has a lot, including renegotiated power purchase agreements that will be brought to us for us to consider, and other major projects in the sector that we will be required to approve as Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the local government will also bring a local governance university bill, and then we will have a University for Local Governance and Development bill will be brought. We will also have bills from the local government ministry to abolish the coastal and middle belt development authorities that we announced the abolition some time ago. Mr. Speaker, they will also bring some amendments to the Land Use and Spatial Planning Act, and the Sports Ministry will bring regulations to actualize the new Sports Fund Act. There will be a bill to establish the National Sports College, Winneba. So the National Sports College, Winneba bill will also come. And there will be regulations to enforce the Anti-Doping Act that was passed some time ago. Tourism Ministry will bring legislation to elevate the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park to an authority to ensure that this historic site is preserved and promoted with the dignity it deserves. We will also move to establish the Ghana Bureau of Languages as an authority, so a bill to achieve that will also be brought. Mr. Speaker, we are gathered once again at a time of growing hope and tangible progress across our nation under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama and his government. We are witnessing a restoration of confidence in our institutions, in our economy, and in our shared future. From the market trader to the teacher, the farmer to the student, there is a sense that Ghana is moving forward with purpose. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that our country is making progress, and this Parliament is going to move forward in terms of approving legislation that will fast-track the progress that is being made. I urge honorable colleagues that this session is a short one. We have just about 8 weeks. I plead with you, let us be punctual, let us sit in the chamber, let all the committees be up and doing. Let's work assiduously to accomplish assignments referred to us as committees. All committee chairmen should do well to deal with all the outstanding referrals. Let's ensure that within the 8 weeks, we achieve as much as is humanly possible. Mr. Speaker, I cannot conclude by also welcoming our friends among the press corps. We will not be able to succeed in this meeting without your support. We will also welcome the parliamentary staff, many of whom, even during the recess, sacrificed precious time to work with certain committees, including the Public Accounts Committee. I know the Security and Intelligence Agency committees. I also know that the Constitutional, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs committees and others were all busy working on bills that were referred to them during the recess. I want to welcome all our staff who have always supported us to succeed as a parliament, and to assure them that we will work together and ensure that this meeting is an action-packed meeting. This meeting is a successful meeting, and this meeting achieves a lot for the people of Ghana. I thank you very much, and I welcome all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, leaders. Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, my colleague, the Majority Leader, forgot to welcome Honorable Member for Kwandai back into the chamber. I wanted to draw his attention.
Honorable Minority Leader, you are completely out of order. Honorable members, let's go to item numbered 4. Message from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable members, it reads, Right Honorable Speaker, absence from Ghana. In accordance with Article 59 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, I write to formally notify you of my intention to travel to London, United Kingdom, on Sunday, 11th January 2026. I am expected to return to Ghana on Friday, 23rd January 2026. In my absence, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jenopoku Ajimai, shall perform my functions in accordance with Article 68 of the Constitution. Signed, John Dramani Mahama. Addressed to the Right Honorable Speaker, Office of Parliament, Parliament House, Ghana. Honorable members, though the President has returned, the formal communication has been brought to Parliament, and it must be read and captured by the Hansard. Honorable members, we then proceed to take the correction of votes and proceedings and official reports. Honorable members, I have in my hand the vote and proceedings of Friday, 19th December 2025 for correction, page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, page 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, and 61. Now, members, in the absence of any correction, the vote and proceedings of Friday, 19 December 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, the official report of 18th December 2025 under correction. Honourable members, any correction? Yes. Honourable Roxanne Nelson. Kwame Eche Dafamoko.
Speaker, thank you. Speaker, may I take the House to page 7, column 1, page 7, line 4. That'll be line 4. The comment under my name. The word should be the outstanding matters that were raised. Page 7. The outstanding matters that were raised. Not was raised. And then, again, under the same column, paragraph 5. Again, the comment under my name. Line 5. The Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs may do this on his behalf. May do this on his behalf. Then, Mr. Speaker, page 11, column 1, page 11, paragraph 3. Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. May we then move to item number 10. Mr. Speaker, I believe that will be all. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Any further correction? Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the official report of Thursday, 18th December 2025, as corrected, is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, let's move to statement. Item numbered 8. Honourable members, I have a statement, more or less a tribute in memory of the late Honourable Nazar Ture Mahama, to be taken by Honourable Jaja. Honourable, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I read a tribute statement of the late colleague of ours, Honourable Alhaji Nazar Ture Mahama. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Alhaji Nazar Ture Mahama was a distinguished businessman, political leader, devoted family man, and committed servant of the people of Ayawaso East. His life was marked by excellence, humility,
discipline, and unwavering dedication to public service. From the boardroom to Parliament, and from his constituency to his home, he lived a life of purpose and impact, quietly shaping communities, institutions, and lives for decades. Honorable Toure hails from Kwi, a community in the northern region of Ghana, but was born on Wednesday, 17th March 1965 in Nima 441. He was raised within the rich cultural and moral framework Ghanaian values, hospitality, integrity, leadership, and communal responsibility. These formative influences shaped the strong character that would later define his political and business leadership. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Toure began his basic education at Kanda 1 and 2 Primary School and later proceeded to West African Senior Secondary School, where we call WAS, in Accra. With a strong desire to broaden his horizon, he traveled extensively to Syria, Jordan, and Japan, gaining valuable work experiences that shaped his worldview, discipline, and commitment to service. After years abroad, he returned to Ghana in the year 2000 and soon aligned with the developmental vision of the National Democratic Congress, NDC. In the year 2006, he began active service in the party, earning the trust of members and community leaders through dedication, humility, and hard work. His unwavering commitment to the betterment of his people led to his election to Parliament in the year 2012. He entered into this House in the Safe Parliament 7th January 2013, where he represented his constituency with excellence, the good people of Ayawaso East. He was a devoted Muslim throughout his life, guided by the principle of faith, service, compassion, and humility. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Nasser Toure believed deeply in lifelong learning. Despite his early successes in business and leadership, he continued to invest in his education and professional development with academic institutions like London Center of Management, Zone Investment Ghana, International University of the United States, Center of Energy, Petroleum and Mineral Law and Policy, and in Boston, USA. This academic pursuit laid the foundation for his remarkable competence, particularly in the energy and petroleum sector. Areas that later influenced significantly both in Parliament and in private enterprise. Before enduring his political career, Honorable Nasser Toure distinguished himself as an astute businessman. He was the managing director of the Aminasa Group of Companies, a thriving company he nurtured into a respected national brand. Under his stewardship, the group grew into a multifaceted business empire with a strong community impact. The major companies under the group include Aminasa Oil and Gas Company Limited, Aminasa Mats, Aminasa Construction, Aminasa Forest Bureau, and OTA Forex Bureau. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Toure was more than a managing director. He was a visionary leader who held policy, empowered staff, created employment, supported young entrepreneurs, and demonstrated measurable excellence in Ghana's private sector landscape. His passion for community growth, fairness, and national development led him into politics. He became a dedicated member of the National Democratic Congress, serving his party and constituency with passion and humility. In 2012, he was elected as the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East constituency in Accra, a passion he held with honorable distinction for 4 consecutive terms, serving until his demise in the year January 2026. Mr. Speaker, during his tenure, Honorable Mahama Turi served on a number of committees, including the Committee on Energy, where he was the vice chairman until he died, Committee on Roads and Transport as a member, House Committee, Private Members Bill and Private Members Motion. He served on the Judicial Committee and many others. Mr. Speaker, he also served on several boards, including the Petroleum Commission and Energy Commission. He was known among his colleagues as the calm, respectful, principled, and thoughtful legislator, one who preferred service to noise and impact to popularity. His contribution in the Energy and Mines Committee were particularly notable, reflecting his deep knowledge in the petroleum regulation, upstream negotiation, and the energy sector management. Honorable Nasser Toure served the people of Ayawaso East with extraordinary dedication. He was fatherly, approachable, generous, and available to all. He provided education support and scholarship, offered job opportunities through his business, and immensely supported community organizations and youth groups. His constituents remember him for the following notable projects: infrastructure and sanitation improvements, roads and traffic upgrades, community facility enhancement, bridge and local links, sanitation and engagement focus, parliamentary roles and influence, health, and many others. Mr. Speaker, behind this public figure was a revered family, a devoted family man. Honorable Mahama was married to his beloved wife, Ajia Amina Adam Maknaza, for over 25 years now. The home was one filled with love, mutual respect, and partnership. He was blessed with a son and a daughter, and again, one adopted daughter. As a father, he was caring, present, loving, and protective. His children remember him as their guide, teacher, provider, and a hero. Honorable Nasser Toure fought his final illness with strength, dignity, and faith. Mr. Speaker, on Saturday, 4th January 2026, after a brief period of sickness, he passed away at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. His transition marks the end of an era, but his legacy, values, and impact remain deeply entrenched in the hearts of his family, his constituency, his business community, and colleagues over here in Parliament. Honorable Nasser Toure lived a life worth celebrating, a life of service, excellence, humility, a devotion to both God and humanity. He was a pillar of strength, a beacon of leadership, and a blessing to all who encountered him. Mr. Speaker, let me end this with some 2 verses from the Quran. Quran chapter 20, verse 55, saying, Minha halaknakum, wa fiha nu'idukum, wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra. To wit, Mr. Speaker, this means from the earth we created you, and into the earth we will return you, and from it, the earth, we will extract you another day. That is Quran chapter 20, verse 55. Mr. Speaker, permit me to quote the last verse, coming from Quran chapter 2, verse 156, which says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Again, to wait, Mr. Speaker, Allah says, indeed, to him Allah will belong, and to him shall we return. With this, Mr. Speaker, let me say, may the Almighty Allah grant our colleague, Honorable Mama Nasa Toure, Jannat al-Firdaus. May the good Lord forgive his shortcomings, and may the good Lord bless his family and all who mourn him. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, statement ably made. It is now for comment. I give the floor to Honourable Emmanuel Kwesi Bejra.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend my brother, the Deputy Minister for Tourism and Creative Art, Honorable Jaja, for this tribute on behalf of all of us and for our honorable colleague, my immediate past Vice Chair of Energy Committee. Mr. Speaker, the late Honorable Nasaturi Mahama met us in this house. When in the 9th Parliament, I was asked to chair the Energy Committee. He had been a member of Energy Committee, the Vice Chair and Deputy Ranking Member of that committee. Mr. Speaker, when I took over as the Chair of the Energy Committee, with vast experience and knowledge in the energy sector, both petroleum and power sector, I rely heavily on him. Mr. Speaker, the last budget, I was asked to represent Parliament somewhere else. And he, as my Vice Chair, the Vice Chair of the committee, have to take over and perform his duty. Little do we know that that was the last duty or official duty he'll be performing on this floor. Mr. Speaker, just as my colleague has mentioned, Honorable Nasature is a calm personality. Anytime we go for meeting and we needed some understanding in depth, he's the one we rely on, be a member of that committee for 4 consecutive periods in the House. Mr. Speaker, we have lost a gem. We have lost someone who has knowledge in the field of petroleum and power. On the 4th of January, Sunday, I was driving to church when I heard the news that your Vice Chairman has passed on. Then quickly I made 2 calls and it was confirmed. I was really shocked because even though our colleague was not in the best health situation, anytime we have committee meetings, even outside, Honorable Jaja, Honorable Nasa Toure would like to be at that committee meeting, sometimes at the peril of his own life. He travels with us, and you see him traveling back to Accra and then returning to committee meetings or even our rounds when we are visiting some installations under our committee. He's one person who you will not find him being angry. Sometimes at provocation from our other colleagues, we just say, Honorable Chairman, calm down. This thing we have done it before, and we'll do it again. It's Honorable Chairman, calm down, calm down. Don't mind them. We've done this thing before. That's the person we have lost. We can only say, may his soul rest in peace. And we pray that his family will take solace in the fact that he has performed his duty and he has received a higher calling to perform there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honorable Matthew Nyindam.
Mr. Speaker, I am traveling out of town, and this is an important tribute that I want to really comment on. So if you give me the opportunity, so I can leave. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, it's unfortunate I have to make these comments at a time that my respected brother is no more with us. But one thing I need to put across is that when we come into this chamber with our party colors hanging around our neck, we make friends across the aisle. Our colleague and I struck a great accord when we entered into this chamber together in 2013. We bonded. He will come home, we will eat together. I'll go to his house, we'll eat together. Hajia will cook and say, leader, come and eat. Mr. Speaker, the only time that Honorable Nazar will not pick my call, especially when I became a majority leader, was when I found myself in crisis and I needed him. And after operations, he will pick my call and say, leader, this one, forgive me. Oh. And I said, I understand. Mr. Speaker, he kept talking about his daughter, a very beautiful, hard-working daughter. And I kept talking about my son. Little did we know, Mr. Speaker, that both kids were pursuing a medical program, and the same prestigious university had admitted them for their medical education. As if coincidence, because he would come to me and say, oh, leader, your daughter wants to do medicine. She passed the IB. And I say, oh, your son also made it. We are trying to get admission for him, and he's gone through the interview. It was only, Mr. Speaker, when we traveled out of town, we met, and here we were. The kids have met the same university doing medicine. So if I'm unable to visit and Hajia gets there, Hajia will take care of my son and take care of their daughter, and vice versa. I knew my brother was a bit under the weather, but I wasn't expecting that the Lord Almighty would summon him so soon. So, Speaker, before we rose, in fact, even on that day, he was with me. We spoke at length. When the kids came for vacation, we were supposed to meet. The understanding was that we were going to meet and have a joint family meeting for the Christmas, because all the kids were back from school. Then that unfortunate morning, the text message came from Hajia that, leader, your brother is gone. How? Very sad. The Speaker, I've never been to a cemetery since I became an adult, but I said on this occasion, he is a true brother. And for me, there's nothing like friendship. You must honor it to the casket, even at the peril of your life. Friendship, a true friend, is difficult to find. So, Mr. Speaker, I went to the Medina Cemetery where my brother had been brought for final rites, and I made sure I touched him and helped lower him into his grave with honor. Let me thank the family members for allowing me the opportunity to be part of that last rite of honor. I felt satisfied because he was a true brother who shared with me the relevant code of life. The Speaker, that said, I would want to urge all of us, the work we do in this chamber is very demanding. Let's find time to do our checkups. Let's find time to exercise. Don't let us underestimate the work we do. Mr. Speaker, 2 years or so ago, I was part of colleagues who went for a training program in the United States, met some senators. And when we shared experiences, we realized that those of us from this part of the world take political leadership for granted. One senator said he had a psychic advisor, had a psychiatrist, had a communication director, has a sports whatever, etc. All these are specialists that he pays them to assist him because the workload is not easy. Your mental health. Constituents are coming to you for money. Constituents are coming to you for everything. You need to prepare yourself for this chamber. Sometimes the money is not even there. Mr. Speaker, there have been times that I had gone to Winneba, shared money, and on my way back, my driver had told me that, Chief, fuel no akofum, they also read. Not once, not twice, several, that I did not have money at the time. Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of sad stories that my colleagues here know we go through. So I will beg of all of us, we have a family to live for. Let us not assume that this political engagement is trivial. It is not. Don't let us take it for granted. Let's look at all areas and take care of them so that we'll be effective in this chamber. Because the law is clear, very mandatory. If you are not there, they say 30 days. People will be fighting for your seat in primaries and all. So, Mr. Speaker, that said, may the gentle soul of our brother rest in perfect peace. He was such a great soul, very loving, caring, affable, easy of address, courteous in manners, and able to accommodate friends on all sides. And I loved the friendship we struck. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this gracious opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Minority. I will then give the floor to Deputy Minister for Lands, Alhaji Sule.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm grateful for this opportunity. Let me first of all thank the Deputy Minister for Tourism who read this very important tribute. And let me also thank my senior colleagues who have already said very good things about our brother, Honorable Alhaji Naza Ture Mahama. Indeed, for me as a Muslim, I want to bear witness to the good things that he's done as a Muslim. I am the chairman of the Muslim caucus, and so it is imperative for me to bear witness to what he's done as a Muslim. But before I continue, I want to make reference to the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 155 to 156, which says that وَاللَّهُ يَبْلُغُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ مِنَ الْأَلْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَالنَّكِسِ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنْفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا حَصَبَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. To it, and we certainly shall test you with anger, with loss of fruits, with loss of lives, and with loss of so many things. But we expect that you should endure when we test you if you are a Muslim. And you should also know that it is from me, Allah, that you have come from, and it is to me that you will return. Again, the Quran says that every soul shall taste death. And so we were not surprised when our brother had to leave, because as Muslims, we were very certain that one day he will return to his Creator. And it's just for us all to know that when death is coming, it will not announce its arrival. And so for us as Muslims, we know it can come at any time. And if it has come and he's gone, we can only praise Allah for giving him to us and for making him use his life to serve his people the way he did. Right, Honorable Speaker, I said to myself and to all of us that I am here to bear witness to what he's done as a Muslim. I can testify that Honorable Niger has fulfilled all the 5 pillars of Islam. He has said what we call the kalima, believing that there's none to worship but Allah, and that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger. He has done that several times, and I can bear witness to that. I can also bear witness to the fact that he was always with us in the mosque every Friday to pray. Sometimes by the time you get there, he's already seated there. Sometimes when you are leaving, he was just seated there supplicating. And so we want to bear witness that he fulfilled that other pillar of Islam. Again, when it comes to the payment of what we call zakat, we can also bear witness that he has fulfilled that pillar. Right, Honorable Speaker, when it comes to the performance of Hajj, he has also performed Hajj several times. And I remember last year or so, I was on the same flight with him going to Mecca to perform Umrah. It was only when we got to Medina that he wasn't feeling well. He had to return back to this country. It tells you how committed he was to his religion, how committed he was to serve Allah. That even when he was not well, he was still going to Mecca to go and worship his Creator. And that is the kind of person we're talking about. And so for me, inshallah, our colleague should be in paradise. Inshallah. Again, his contribution to the Muslim caucus. He served on several committees at that level. Anytime there was a meeting, Honorable Niger was always there, and he contributed immensely to our discussions. There were very sensitive issues that came up at our meetings, and my colleagues here would bear me witness how calm he was in addressing those issues. And so today, if we have lost him, we can only praise Allah, because we did nothing and he was given to us, and we did nothing and God has taken him. We need to praise God, and I can assure you that it is a place all of us will go. It was his time to go, and he's gone. We pray that the good Lord will have mercy on him and grant him Jannat al-Firdaus. We want to also share our condolences with the wife, the children, and the family, and to say that God will replace him in a manner that they will be okay. With these few words, once again, I want to thank my uncle, Honorable Yusuf Jaja. I want to thank my senior colleagues who have shared their experiences with our brother who today, as we speak, inshallah, is resting with his Creator. Thank you.
Thank you. It's now the turn of Honorable Matthew Nindam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to also pay tribute to my good friend, Alhaji Nasser. Mr. Speaker, myself and Alhaji came to the chamber the same day. And when we all walked in, I didn't know him. So when they mentioned that he's the MP for Kwanda, he walked to me and told me that I was his MP, and told me his roots in Kwandai. And then it was the conflict, the 1992 conflict, that brought him back to Accra. And since then, he's never gone back to Kwandai. Mr. Speaker, from that day, Alhaji took me as a brother. Anytime we met at the coffee shop, he spoke to me
as a brother. Mr. Speaker, although we are all politicians and we all belong to political parties, Alhaji was not that excessively partisan. He took everybody as a brother. He's not the loud type. Alhaji will not speak much, but Alhaji made a lot of wisdom. He's very calm, very gentle, very affable. Mr. Speaker, after death, just like we all will say, it is a journey we all embark on. But after you are no more, what will people say about you is so important. I pray, and I'm with the family. Mr. Speaker, when I heard that Alhaji was no more, I wished I had the opportunity to accompany Alhaji to his resting place. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, I was in crisis. So there was no way I could avail myself to accompany Alhaji. Mr. Speaker, there is this belief in Islam that when they are going to the cemetery, as many as you can, you accompany the dead body to the cemetery. And it's something I appreciate a lot. I appreciate a lot. Although Alhaji is not with us, I don't know the family personally. I wish and pray that the good Lord will be with them, and may the good Lord give him a perfect rest, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not adding my voice to the tribute that being said here. I think when we went to conclave, we were very clear on what the items that were taken out. The admission of this statement wasn't part of it, but I think what we know, I was there throughout. I think we're staying far too long in the day. So I want to agree with you. I've also seen an admittance of a report over here. If I rise up to talk about an issue of this nature, I was out there at the people taking their blood pressure and observing what is happening there. I would like to plead with you that we try and then wrap up and help people rest for the day. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Leader, the time for sitting is 5 hours. Have we exceeded the 5 hours?
Speaker, indeed we haven't. But Speaker, let the record reflect that it was agreed that we'll take this statement because it was about a colleague.
Well, it's not a matter of agreeing to take the statement because a colleague or not. Our standing orders are clear that sitting hours is 5 hours.
We haven't exceeded.
So it is only when we exceed the 5 hours that we can talk about extension of the sitting.
I agree.
But today we started after 2 o'clock or getting to 3 o'clock. So, Honorable Deputy Leader, we are still within the prescribed 5 hours of sitting. We have not exceeded it. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well guided.
Yes.
But I would like to also remind ourselves that when we agree to do business of the day to a certain point, we should try and adhere to it. Thank you.
Yes. This takes me to Order 55.3, which reads, a sitting of the House shall ordinarily be for 5 hours. We can all look at it. So if at pre-sitting you've agreed on something else, we are masters of our own rules. Majority Leader, what is the agreement at pre-sitting? Majority Leader, has there been a decision at pre-sitting? that will sit below the 5 hours as prescribed by Order 55.3?
No, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry?
You agreed at pre-sitting? Who were there at pre-sitting?
No.
I wasn't there, so I'm not bound by any decision that was taken. No, but why do you want to leave early? This is the first day. You've been on recess for a very long time now. You've been resting throughout. The first day you come and you are eager to leave. Or you spend your time campaigning, engaging in presidential primaries. You should have known that there's parliament also.
Well, honourable members, let's conclude it by
Let's conclude there.
taking
comments. Yeah.
Let's take two more comments.
Honourable
Two more comments. Yeah.
Hajia Ladi Ayamba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the tribute statement ably made by my colleague, Honorable Jaja. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Alhaji Nazar Toure was one of the individuals whom one can refer to and reflect about when it comes to his gentility. This is a man who spoke very gently, and it's one of the observations I had made about him. What he will simply tell me, if even we met, was, Hajia, Yade, Hajia, how are you? Honorable Nazar Toure was always present, basically at all our committee meetings on roads and transport. Mr. Speaker, I recall during one of our fasting seasons, we were in the chamber here and it was very late. All of us as Muslims wanted to just leave and go to break our fast. When we went to the coffee shop to get some water, he said, Hajia, Gida, I matanaza takawa abinchi. To wait, Hajia, please wait. My wife is going to bring some food. And we were surprised. More than enough was given. She brought the food. We sat together. And it was so nice. Honorable Nazar Toure never ever raised his voice and will ensure that he speaks calmly no matter what was being discussed. It has been said, and as my colleagues have mentioned, I haven't been to an Arabic school. I am a staunch Muslim, although, and I believe that there is a time and season for everything. So is it that with life, much as we do not know when it was given, and we believe that at the time the Almighty Allah made that seed to be planted, you didn't know, and nobody has ever known. He and He alone, the Almighty Allah, has also stated clearly, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From Him, each and every one of us have come from, and to Him we shall return. There is no time, there is no day, there is no place, there is no circumstance that is known by any individual as to how, when, where you will pass. You owe death if you do not owe anybody. And each and every one of us must be ready. For that matter, it is a lesson for all of us. And all that I can say is that let us believe that as we hear, as we see, as we observe, others pass. So is it incumbent on us that one day, no matter what, whether you are ready or not, you will also pass. The only prayer we have is that all the good things that we do on earth should follow us into our final resting places. So is it that I pray that the Almighty Allah grants our brother, Honorable Nazar Toure, Jannatul Firdaus, and that he should also grant us living, long life, and prosperity, and that one day, when it is our turn, we shall also go in peace. My condolences to his wife, the family, and each and every one. Now, thank you for the statement and for listening to me. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Niashi Kote. And then I'll come to leadership.
Thank you. I want to take the opportunity to thank my big brother, the Honorable Deputy Minister, Honorable Jaja, for the statement made. And I also want to add my voice to say that may the soul of Honorable Nazar Toure Mahama rest well in the bosom of Allah. As I entered Parliament, I remember how he met me, stretched forth his arms and welcomed me and said, "Gentlemen, you are welcome to Parliament." He shared how he observed the elections in my constituency, Ododo-Dio-Dio. And I recall very well how he said, "You are such a strong young man. Meanwhile, I know I am quite calm and reserved and all that." But Mr. Speaker, getting to know him well, even though people had said that I was too calm for a constituency like Ododo-Dio-Dio, I said no. For a man presiding over a constituency which is predominantly a Muslim community, I felt it was a little too calm for that. He will call me, he will advise, as you are here, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, this is the way to go. And I saw a father figure in him. So indeed, he was fatherly. Truly, he was very approachable, and I must also confess that he was humble and affectionate. When I became a member of the leadership of the Greater Accra MPs Caucus, I will confer with him, he will share with me and guide me as to the way to go. The news, obviously, of his death became shocking to all of us. I recall when the call came, I said, no, it can't be true. Then I started calling honorable colleagues. When it was confirmed, in fact, I became, for want of a better word, disabled. I couldn't move, I couldn't think. We have lost a great leader. We have lost a calm but a gentleman. We have lost a man with a wealth of knowledge and experience, just as have been praised. we take solace in the fact that his legacy will speak well of him. I wish the family, especially the wife and daughter, my deepest condolences. And on behalf of the Greater Accra MP's caucus, we say, Inshallah, he should indeed be in paradise. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister for.
Thank you very much,
Employment.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also rise to contribute to the statement and to say that this man who lived and died as a great man. In Shakespeare, a character said, all the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. But a man in his life plays many parts. And in the life of Honorable Mahama Toure, he played many parts. He played several parts out of the country. It dawned on him to come to Ghana, and he came to Ghana. Contributed his quota, represented his people, committed himself to their service and to God's service. Mr. Speaker, I interacted with him severally, and especially when we served in the same committee. And as a member of the Energy Committee at the time, we worked very closely together. He is not a man who talked much, but he's a man who taught much. And in his personal life, he did so much that I believe his family would lose him a lot. And I wish to first of all extend my deepest condolences to his wife and kids for everything he represented in their lives and for the huge loss in their lives. Mr. Speaker, one thing I learned from him is that no matter who you are, continue to be humble. I have a symbolic representation in that aspect in my own life. But in the life of Mohamed Toure, he showed that in his wealth, he was still himself. In his endeavor as a politician, he was still himself. He lived a life that a man who rises to see what he has done can only salute him. And in this contribution, I want to wish him well in the sight of Allah. I know that by what he represented, by everything he did it because he thought that one day he would no longer be on earth here. And this has taught us a lesson. And I believe we all have to learn that lesson. We've heard about great men who have passed on. One of the greatest who passed on was Alexander the Great, a man who ruled almost all the world, and before he got to 40 years, he died. And so his death is another reminder that as we all are here, we are marching towards one simple destination, a destination when we will be oblivious of this world, we will die, and our deaths will be forgotten by a future generation. It tells us that what will be left is the deeds we would have performed. And this man performed so much that in every member of his constituency you met would still tell you they wanted him to contest the elections. I've interacted with several of them during the funeral, and they regretted that he died so soon. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me extend my condolences to all of them, the constituents, his father, his wife, his kids, and everybody who thinks so much about him and who has been touched by his exit of this world. May his great soul rest in perfect peace. Amen.
Yes, minority leadership. Well, I'll turn to in the absence of any further contribution from the minority side, I'll give the floor to Honorable Doyo, being that of the majority leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity I would like to thank Honorable Jaja, the Deputy Minister of Tourism, for this statement. Mr. Speaker, it is with deep sadness that we say goodbye to a wonderful colleague and friend, late Honorable Naza Turi. Mr. Speaker, in 2013, we were ushered in as new MPs, and in Greater Accra, we were 5. Honorable Nilante Vanderpoy, Honorable Christian Otute, Honorable Yimanrani Ashimo, Honorable Naza Turi, and myself. Mr. Speaker, we grew ourselves together as sisters, brothers, and colleagues, and we have worked together. Along the line, 3 were out, and I was left with Honorable Naza. And recently, in this 8th Parliament, he became our caucus chairman. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Naza, as a caucus chairman, was so wonderful. His dedication, kindness, and humor, Mr. Speaker, you can't take it away from him. He brought some calmness in the caucus. Anytime he's available, you see that the place is different because he's a different person altogether. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Naza, little did I know he will pass away. We were here before we went on recess. And before then, I could remember when he wanted to be the chairman of the Energy Committee and he couldn't get it. And we said, oh, you will get a board, so it shouldn't be a big deal. So no problem. But Honorable Doyo, I would like that board to go to my spouse, which is my wife. And I said, why? You are the MP. He said, no, I want everything to go to her so that she can take good care of the children. But he didn't add when I'm no more. And I didn't know he was even going to pass. Mr. Speaker, in fact, I received the news with shock. That day, I started running because he was somebody who I can call a brother, a friend, a father, and anytime, any day, anything he will consult me, leader, what do you think? I also consult him as a caucus chairman, what do you think? And we'll work together, do everything together. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Jaja has left a huge vacuum when it comes to unity and work. Honorable Naza, sorry. No. Honorable Naza, because they have been friends, so don't worry. Honorable Naza have left a huge vacuum. Honorable Naza have left a huge vacuum. Mr. Speaker, I will take the opportunity to console the wife, the family, and the children. I now understand why he keep telling me that if anything, push it to my wife. And now understand why he keep telling me that if anything, push it to my wife. You said a board member, push it to my wife. And I said, why? He said, no, just give it to my wife. Not knowing he knows what is going to happen. And I think now he will be resting in the bosom of the Lord. And I wish the wife and the children well, the family and NDC in Ayawaso is well, and God should console all of us. Yes, that's what he said, that we should give everything to the wife. So, today, as we are here paying tribute to him, we will visit the wife as a caucus and then console the wife. Greater Accra caucus, we will visit the wife and console the wife. He died when we were on recess, so we couldn't do the needful. So now, before we will go to the house and do the needful. So Ayawaso East Constituency executives will fix a time and a date and meet all of them as a caucus and console all of them. So may his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, that brings us to the end of the statement. Statement time has ended.